All right, it's recording. Test.
Testing.
Testy. Oh, testes. That, no.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Hi, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Dinner Table Talk side segment. This isn't our episode, right? But it's more of just us getting together and trying to, I guess, create a little bit more relatable content in terms of what's going on in our surroundings, right? So, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Sydney. Hello.
And welcome to Dinner Table Talk. So, guess what we're gonna do today? Sydney, why don't you tell them?
So I was just eating pasta, so there's like some. All right, I hope you guys can hear me clearly. So today we're doing something exciting. I've been excited actually to do this with Stephanie for ever since we decided to do it. So recently,
Which was yesterday. We decided yesterday.
Depending when this goes out. Okay, from this time period, yesterday, President Trump gave his farewell address, correct? And so Stephanie saw it first and she sent me the link, and I was like, wait, before I watch it, actually, we should watch it together and we should react to it just authentically being ourselves and just share that, share the reaction to the audience just so that, we could all feel like we're on the same page. And I don't know what else to add. That's what we're doing today. That's why we gathered. Yeah, that's why we got up this morning and recorded. Yeah, listen to President Trump's farewell address. This is a this is a non-partisan wait, what's the term? Non this isn't political, okay? We aren't trying to
No, this isn't political. We're not going to make any kind of political statement. We're just watching because everybody's watching, Everybody's watching. So let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it, right? So we're going to watch the farewell address that took place yesterday. But then we're also later going to watch the inauguration and the inaugural address by the 46th president of the United States, President Joe Biden, woo, like, wow, right? So the reason why we're not going to do it right now, it's because it's still happening live. So we're going to watch it maybe later today or even tomorrow. And by the time you guys see this, like, it'll all be out. So if you haven't yet, please be encouraged to watch and come up with your own opinion. It's important that we're in the know of things, especially with the democracy of our country. So I'm going to share my screen and let's get this thing started.
Yeah.
Let's listen in.
My fellow Americans, 4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do, and so much more. This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word. We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good.
So that's the first 3 minutes.
I was wondering
I saw you smile. I saw you smile when he said something. um,
That's like a keyword.
he's looking particularly more tan than he usually does. That's so interesting. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. This is a pre-recorded message, right?
it was live. I think it was live yesterday. It's yeah. Like I watched it yesterday, not live, but like right after it happened,
Mhm.
and like I don't know. Now I'm just kind of paying like very close attention. I completely forgot how he was thanking people in the beginning, but I saw you smile there. I knew you were gonna smile there because I messaged you about it last night. Oh man, what do you
But
think, or what are you thinking?
well, first off, it was just like when he started saying the gratitudes, because you're saying how like the beginning of his talk is like this and like that. So like that's what I was expecting. Like but so I totally was not expecting like a gratitude thing, like thank yous and everything. But as he was thanking um his family, I was just like, oh, like at the end of the day, like yeah, all the stuff that he does, it like means nothing to him if it's like like means nothing if he didn't have like that's like familial support or like if he didn't have a family to go back to, like none of that stuff that he's doing is like fulfilling or whatever, um because he like went straight into like thanking his wife and his children. Maybe it was like obligatory, I don't know what his true relationship with his like family is. There's a lot of stuff that goes in the media and the news and everything, but at the end of the day, you know no matter how rich someone is or like how knowledgeable someone is or whatever, I'm not saying about him. I'm just saying in general, right? Like no matter however you define success, like if you don't have like a family to go back to, like I guess it means doesn't really mean anything, even if you're the president of the USA. Because objectively speaking, like being able to stand as like a president of the USA, that's a pretty mighty accomplishment. So, but even then, someone in that
Yeah.
kind of position, they are indebted to their family.
I,
Yeah.
I I like giggled at it. It's like and then he wishes the new administration luck, a very important word. Um, it's interesting. Yeah, when it comes to things like these, right? Like how much luck can actually play out, right? Um, I wonder. I wonder. I don't know why he said that, but anyways, I mean, of course, I wish the new administration luck. Um, but we all have to work together, right? So I know he's
Yeah.
gonna mention it, or
Yeah.
maybe
I
I don't
guess
know.
that
I
sentence was.
forgot.
Yeah, okay, now that you brought that up, like, I guess you don't really necessarily need that sentence either right after a very important word. I'm gonna bring that up
Oh
here.
god. Yo, this man's bro. Okay, our president, ladies and gentlemen, or our previous president. Okay.
Our former,
Um.
yes, yes, representing
Yeah,
our
but we all
nation.
we all got to be peace loving citizens, right? So
Right, that's right.
I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities.
I remember
I think
when I was
yeah.
like fundraising for this nonprofit organization that I was part of,
Hmm.
and like it was right around election time too, and so almost like every like one in every five people I would approach, they would be like, I'll vote. I mean, I will donate if you tell me who you voted for. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I can't even vote. I didn't go out and vote. Like I couldn't vote. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Feels like it was like last year though for me doing that. And then yeah, it was a pretty big deal, wasn't it? 4 years ago.
Yeah, I couldn't vote. I was 17 years old. Yeah, because you were on your gap year fundraising.
Yeah.
I was still in high school. I was a senior in high school, and I remember very clearly when this happened. I guess we can talk about it just a little bit, right? But senior year, I had a government class. It was like government and economics, and so the first half of the year would be focused on the government, and then the second half would be focused on economics. I just know that, I mean, a lot of people were very, very upset. I probably was too, because just the way the whole thing was being marketed and campaigned, and I have a very, very loving heart towards the Hispanic and Latino community, right? So just the whole build the wall thing really,
Oh,
you
wow.
know. Um anyways, so I think that happened. I like woke up at 4 a.m. and I have a TV in my room. I woke up at 4 a.m. I just I kept it on, and then I just the news was playing very faint volume, but I could tell that Donald Trump was the new president of the United States, right? This was in 2016. And so I don't necessarily remember what was going on through my head, but I was just kind of staring at my TV like, oh, like, oh, um,
Oh,
wow. And then the next day, I don't think I went to school the next day. I don't really remember. Oh, I don't know why my mother let me stay at home, honestly. Like a lot of people were frustrated, yeah, but it's also like no one could express their frustration because is it frustration towards the man who just got elected, or is it frustration towards the fact that this is how the people of our country have been feeling, you know?
mm,
I wasn't able to realize that until years later. I'm just like a 16, 17-year-old kid in high school. Uh, like, frankly, I don't really care too much about the government, you know? And for a lot
mm,
of people, no one really cared about anything happening in the government until President, Donald Trump got elected. Anyway, it's just backstory since you mentioned like when you were fundraising back then, Wow. It's
mm.
been 4 years.
It's
Oh
been
my
4
gosh.
years.
Oh my god. Wow.
Valid story.
Cheers.
I didn't know that. Nice.
Mm. Yeah. Well, now you know. Now everybody knows.
Now everyone knows.
Boom.
Also, and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great new deal with China. But before the ink was even dry, we and the whole world got hit with the China virus. Our trade relationship was rapidly changing.
Coronavirus. Okay, guys, not China virus. The coronavirus. Okay. Okay. Just gonna. All right.
We reclaimed our sovereignty by standing up for America at the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interest. And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few years ago. It was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world. Now the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military, all made in the USA. We launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces.
Yeah, he was throwing in a lot of like accomplishments in there. Some of them things like we hit like record high and like economical status worldwide, but that was like during the pandemic and like no one was like functioning. I was just like
Mm.
that was like one thing that was just like, okay, I don't know if that like represents our numbers like fairly, but again, he's a businessman, so I don't know what's considered like fair, unfair in the business
Yeah, we
world.
could look into it also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was just like typing. I don't know if you saw it, but like I was like moving around and like typing stuff up because like I was listening
Notes.
to
Yeah.
things that he was saying and like he accomplished. Because I think those are things we should also look into. Like under what circumstances were they like favorable or considered like an accomplishment? So,
Mm.
but what he's saying though, I'm like, wow. If I were to just like, I guess, blindly accept what he's saying, it's pretty impressive, you know. Um, Even the words that he used, he's like slashed it in half. Like, whoa, it's like, whoa, so much happened in the last 4 years. I guess he's like I guess he was someone that like took every opportunity and like carried it through very aggressively in a sense. Like that's the feels that I would get. Yeah, but I really want to look into numbers later. So
I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come. Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Alrighty. So we just finished the farewell address by previous President Donald Trump. We'll talk about like the whole thing as like the summary as a whole, right? But it's obviously going to be edited in a way where you don't have to sit down for 20 minutes. We highly encourage you to do so if you want to like actually interpret in your own way, right, what he said. But so me, I watched it yesterday, but I paid closer attention to it today. So
Yeah.
what did you think? What do you think actually? Like just yeah, go for it.
And then I guess you like build off of what I say, yeah. 'Cause,
Of course, yeah. Yeah. I can say what I think, but I want to hear what you think first. Yeah.
uh well, I hope, yeah, I want to voice what Stephanie said. Like, yes, I really do encourage you guys to, if you haven't watched it yet, like watch it so that as we're talking, like, you can, this is like a third voice, Stephanie and I will be your third voice as you're watching on your own and whatever. And as you're watching it, you can be like, oh, this is what they're talking about, or afterwards you can contemplate. But so as you know, I did make a list of the things that he said as an accomplishment. That will probably be something that Steph and I will like look more into. I don't know if we're gonna post it
Yeah.
later. Our
We're gonna
research.
research it. We're
Yeah,
gonna
but I don't know if
research
we're
it.
gonna post like our reactions to it or not. Maybe that's an idea we're gonna have to post our reaction to the research to his accomplishments. I don't know.
Fact
But
check everything.
yeah. But I am gonna look forward to researching that because honestly, like to be honest, objectively speaking, to like he's done a lot more than I had thought, or I feel like a lot of the things that the presidents do, um, or what gets put on mainstream media or the news in general isn't always like related to as like, oh, this is what the president did, or stuff like that, right? So what do I think? Okay, hi guys. What do I think? First off, I'm just really glad that I'm not like a Trump supporter, or like I'm it's a
Hold on. Okay.
we are trying to be as no, like neither, or like we're not like a hardcore way. Okay, maybe I do.
No. I mean that's good. Hold on. I'm really glad too.
No, like we're mutual in these areas, or we both decided that we will be, as mutual objective about these things as possible. So that's that.
Right.
Side note-
Right.
yeah, side note though, I'm full Japanese, right, guys? And I'm Japanese American, and my mom, she keeps up with these news, and apparently on the Japanese side, and she keeps up with like these YouTube channels that kind of like explain what's going on in the USA type of thing, and all these people that like explain in depth as to what the policies and the government propositions are in the USA, and they explain in depth, right? And apparently those channels have a lot of, I can't speak for all of them, but from what it sounds like through those channels or whatever, Japan is for Trump, or like they are
So I've heard.
yeah. So I heard, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're like, Trump is the only one who can save us, like protect Japan, stuff like that. So hey, international relations, I guess he did pretty well. Um, I do have a lot more to say, but maybe I've been on a little tangent for now. So maybe you want to cut in a little bit and add on what you think about it. What you saw.
Yeah. And just as like just to put it in there as well, like we're going to also react to the inauguration. Um because like we should. It's you know the new president and the new administration, right? So um I believe also Senate is being inaugurated today. I agree in terms of yeah, there's a lot of things that he said his administration orchestrated, right? And that they did, yet we don't really hear about them. Or you can probably go and do the research in terms of all of that. But his presidency also included a pandemic, right? So I think I'm just kind of I'm still like digesting it.
Can I say some phrases that he said, and then can you like give your opinion on it, or we
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
on it? Okay. In the beginning, he was saying about how, he came into the presidency to make America first. He said,
Mm,
America first. I put my immediate reaction was like, damn, like he wants to make America selfish, or like America
yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was my initial, but I wanted to hold that off to hear out what else he wanted to say. And at the some of the things he was saying was like, we were paying like billions to like not NATO and stuff to
Yeah.
NATO.
NATO,
I say NATO. You know what I
NATO, NATO, NATO,
NATO?
NATO.
Yeah, and he cut the. Apparently, we were paying more than we were supposed to be paying or whatnot. And the impression that I was getting was that okay, maybe the America that I know isn't really the America that I grew up to know.
Mm,
Like maybe we've been because he sounded proud that he cut those bills down, from our pockets, and that he also started having people support America, have other nations support America, and he sounded proud about that. So that's something I just before speculating into things and before like expressing more of like my opinions. I'm like, oh my gosh, like you just want America to like just focus on herself and not help other nations or whatever. Like I wanna that's one of the areas I wanna look into. Like what did that mean for the US to
mm.
cut our bills, cut what does it mean for other nations to like support us now?
That's an interesting point because it's like other nations supporting America,
Hmm.
you know? Um,
I felt a little comfortable hearing that, to be honest.
mm,
That was my yeah.
yeah. And I mean, this is like also just like the initial reaction. We're gonna look into this. We might share it with you. We might not. Honestly, it might just make our hearts at peace when we go to bed at night, right? But yeah, I think overall, I I I can tell he was trying to put a positive spin on it in terms of unity. And I really hope that through that message, those who are like angry at the incoming presidency and the administration, chill a little bit. Let's all just take a chill pill, um, because obviously our democracy is very hurt right now, and I can imagine millions and millions of people are could be upset, but it's really about putting aside our own agenda and just working together. It'll be a humbling thing. So I really hope that through his farewell address, I guess the so-called Trump supporters, right? Or at least the extreme ones, right? They can realize like, okay, Trump is actually encouraging to support the new administration. So
Mhm.
we all should. That's what I got from like the beginning, when he said the luck thing. And then towards the end as well, like really God bless this country. God bless people of this country. Because without the people, this country is nothing. And we have to realize like our own individual purpose and like what we can do within our own lives, whether that's in our family or in the community, right? Like how we can contribute to a better America, right? um because only through that way can America really contribute to a better world. I'm pretty sure some like you have maybe a few more points you'd want to hit on, but like for me, I think that's like the main gist of what I see.
I feel like what you're saying kind of goes back to support like what he was saying about America having this priceless inheritance, for this next generation. I guess that's what I was talking about. He was saying, I wrote
Mm.
something and he was like, there's a loss of confidence in ourselves, there's loss of confidence in our nation. We're only as strong as the spirit of our nation.
Oh
No
yeah,
nation
yeah.
can survive, right, without this like faith in our nation. And another thing I didn't know what to think about it, but another part I think to add on to you because I think the from where you're coming from is acknowledging that our democracy has been like hurt or even like tainted in a way or um maybe misused, and there's a lot of pain on both sides, I think. That's why I really appreciate that about you, like you always like bring that up. Or yeah, I feel like your study in law combined with like your heart for the people or like acknowledging the pain of others, I think it kind of brings in like this whole different aspect to like our conversation. I don't know, it makes it sound, it keeps it
Thank you.
professional, you know? It keeps it like you know, you can bring in this gushy feeling of like, oh, our pain, we must heal, but also you keep it professional with your tones. I appreciate that. I think the audience appreciates that too. I think as like the president maybe, or like this like almost like this parental figure, you could say, for this nation, he sees that we are becoming crippled, or we are losing this sense of identity as the strong American individuals. Maybe maybe we're becoming weaker because, you know, he was saying like we're not um like there was a part where I remember this because like the way he said it was like so, well, not funny, but he was just like, we just can't do that, you know, like he was saying where he was like, we aren't, he said, we aren't tamed souls who need sheltering from those with opposing ideas, right? He was like, it was just like, we just can't do that. You know, like he was just so eloquent about it. But I don't know. I felt like this man really loves, or whenever the people takes on these like presidential roles, their love for their nation and the people and what they take pride in their nation is what I get to see. I think even for him, some yeah, and I don't know what kind of, you know, points that our new President Biden will have to share with us as to what kind of America he sees and what kind of pride he has and what kind of American citizens he wants us to become. But I don't know, I kind of appreciate, I think there was a part of me that appreciated that comment of like, we aren't tamed souls. Like, we are known to be rebellious or freedom seekers. You know, the pilgrims came here risking their life so that they can worship and praise without this like restriction from their British, like their country and everything. So I don't know. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, and I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, it goes back. I feel like it's going back to this point of like just Trump calling for unity
As like Americans, I guess. Like he
as
just
Americans. We need to, you know, notice what's wrong and fight for what's right. Or we've seen, I guess, his presidency, right, and things he's done as a human being, right, and things like that need to be called out as well, right? But yeah, the people of this nation, we need to unite and call out the wrong and fight for the right. So I hope that happens. I'm
I
grateful for
mean,
you, communications major, like noting down. I wouldn't have noted down all of his quotes or whatnot. Um,
I just
yeah,
need references also because I think too much. So I just need to focus on those things.
no, yeah, focus on the main.
Well, okay, I think I saw snippets of like the inauguration message, so maybe we will not comment on that now. But it's
Yeah,
just like, yeah, so I'll leave that because I feel like there are some things that President Biden already said that kind of like goes along with the message that you were highlighting as well from President Trump's message. So I feel like, yeah. Anyways, I'll leave that for another day. But a thought that occurred to me was, okay, there was a part where he was like, this was like the most difficult thing he's done, but he did it because he's here to serve the people and he is here. He was like, I did it. I did the things I did because this is what you guys elected me, voted me to do, you know? And then, but every single thing he does, literally like anything he does, he'll get criticized, whether it be by his like supporters or opposers or whatever, right? Like anything and everything. So I was just like, wow, I think whatever we get paid according to the criticism that we'll get. You know what I mean? Like however high level you go, like doctors do, they get paid a lot because they have a lot of responsibility, and if their mistakes, their mistakes will get criticized a lot. If they come clean with it or like if they don't hide it or anything. The president, I think he probably still may have like hit some things or like are not coming clean to some things, but a lot of it is like always on the media, so like he gets criticized either way, but like he gets paid a lot, you know. So it's just like I feel like the the amount of dollar bills you get equate to like how much criticism you're willing to take, or no matter, you know, how much integrity are you gonna have to your words, regardless of the lonely course you might go on, or like no matter how many people may or may not support you, oppose you, you know? So that was like a random thought that occurred to my mind.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to reflect about, but I think I just want to encourage everyone to look towards the future, right? I don't want to be one of those people like, oh, the past is the past, because we have to acknowledge the past actually, right? So that way we don't repeat again, right? But yeah, I just encourage, a bunch of reflection. If you don't reflect, uh, just find something that can make you feel at peace and
Find someone to talk about it too. Like Stephanie and I found each other and like we can talk about it. I hope
yeah.
between the two of us, like we're not creating like this. You know how I'm really always cautious about like groupthink and like creating echo chambers,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Of
yeah.
just same shared views and everything. So
Yeah, people have to have like their own individual kind of thing, and being influenced by that group view, it's kind of like there's no chance to really come up with your own opinion and really figure out your thoughts, right? So yeah, that's why I'm like highly encouraging it. It's so funny because it's like I remember like every time I would hear Trump speak or look at a video of Trump, I'd get so angry. I wouldn't be able to tolerate it because it's just in my head. It's like, oh man, look at his face. Look at it's like straight up, straight up. But now it's like I sat through like a 19-20 minute video and I'm just like, hmm, hmm, yeah. I mean growth, growth. So yeah, thank you Simi for this, and we're gonna of course watch the inauguration when the live stream ends. I'm pretty sure it's ended by now, so we'll watch it, we'll do the editing magic, right? And hopefully this video isn't too long.
we said remember during the planning process, we're like, oh, it's gonna be like a 5-minute video. I don't think it's gonna be 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's okay. And if you watch this, our next episode is coming out in a few weeks in February, right? So we're gonna have a very, very, very special guest for you, and we're gonna talk about reduced inequalities, which is very, very important, especially with the new administration and what they're going to do within their 100 days of office, right? So yeah, please keep yourselves updated. Let this be a reminder for that, and we'll be back with the inauguration. So thank you guys. Okay.